How to grow an e-commerce business without Facebook ads. Now, this is something that comes up all the time because most people who are starting e-commerce businesses are not coming in with massively deep pockets and they want to actually be able to make their initial sales so that they have the budget to go and invest and grow that e-commerce business. On the other end, you have people who are actively investing in Facebook ads, but they would love to massively increase their profitability of their business by bringing in more sales without having to have every single sale associated with a spend to get that customer in, which I can totally understand as well. Well, in this video, we are going to be looking at 7 ways to grow an e-commerce business without ads, and I have so many here that I actually had to work out what were the 7 that I was actually going to go through because I love growing e-commerce businesses with and without ads. It's one of the easiest things in my opinion. If you have a good e-commerce business, if you have a great a range of products that people actually want to buy, then it can be super exciting because you don't just have one singular product that you have to pitch all the time. It's a great opportunity to have multiple offers and have multiple touch points, and even you can have somebody purchase something and the same person can come back and buy the next day if you've got the systems in place. So I absolutely love e-commerce businesses and growing them, and these 7 strategies are going to be absolutely awesome for growing your e-commerce business or the one that you're planning on launching. And by the way, if you're new here, every single week I drop a video like this, a deep dive, nothing held back, awesome strategies, tried and tested on growing e-commerce businesses, coaching businesses, all sorts of businesses through Facebook ads, social media, and email marketing. So if you haven't already, hit that like button on this video just because you're a great human, and then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for yourself so that you never miss any of these again. Okay, let's get into these 7 strategies. And first of all, it's not just e-commerce businesses that I've coached to massive levels of growth, in which there's been many. I also worked with tons of e-commerce businesses in a one-to-one format long before I was ever an online success coach. So I actually sold things from meat packs online to luxury flowers to radiators. I sold everything online, and it was a really big thing. In fact, the first ever marketing role I ever had, which I sort of fell into, I actually got a job in a cafe up in the Highlands of Scotland where I was from. I was coming back from university, studying sport and exercise science, nothing to do with marketing, and I got a job in a cafe serving coffee. And I said to the manager of the cafe one day, hey, do you realize that there's a whole bunch of different ways that we can start actually making money from the people who visit here when they're not here? We could go online, we could use this way of getting to them via email marketing, we could use this way to use social media, etc. And he actually set me up with an office in the business and a job as the marketing guy for what is called the perfume studio, and we sold soap online. So if there's a better way of learning online marketing than selling soap online, please put it in the description below. But without further ado, we'll get into the 7 points I have here. 3 of them are ways of creating more sales through your website. 4 of them are ways of getting more people to your website, all of which, all 7 are without any paid advertising, okay? So we're looking at how to get more people to your website and how to get more people purchasing on your website as well. So we'll start with getting people to the website. That's probably the best thing to do here. So number 1 is quite simply create more offers. It's something that is not done enough in e-commerce businesses whatsoever. Like I said at the start of this video, you have an amazing opportunity as an e-commerce business, which typically has more than one product, to create multiple offers in any given month. So that does not mean that you have to become the discount king. You can create offers that are value adds. If you purchase this, you get this free, or you purchase this and this happens, or we're doing a short run of this special edition of this thing right here. So there doesn't have to be a discount or an add-on or anything, but you have to create more offers. You have to create more reasons for people to click the link in your bio on your social media, or a reason to click the link in your email that you just sent to previous buyers. You have to give them reasons to come back. Otherwise, they'll come back on their own time. With all the distractions we have, is not going to be anytime soon, okay? Most people, even though they would say, yes, I would 100% come back to this e-commerce business and purchase again, actually won't unless we give them further touch points, which is why it's so important to be thinking about what offer can we do this week and next week and next week and next week. As well as the fact that you want to have more offers, that can create so much urgency. This offer ends Friday at midnight. Then you create a new offer on Sunday, and that one ends the next Friday at midnight. That gives you the opportunity to always talk about that on your social media, your email marketing. You can even use the urgency of sending out an email on that Friday saying you've got 6 hours left to get this offer. So if you can imagine that, it's a great way of encouraging people to come in and purchase again, even if they purchased recently. Okay, so create more offers is number one. Number two, let's go with influencers here. So with e-commerce businesses I worked with in the past, we had a massive focus on influencers. They actually didn't have a huge amount of budget initially when I first got involved. So one of the first things that we looked at was influencers. Now, this actually is something that I've done with most clients and most businesses that I've owned and ran myself, is looking at who are the influencers in the space that we can actually bring in at a very low cost or no cost at all to promote the products and services. Now, here's the thing. So many people are just absolutely overwhelmed by the idea that you would reach out to them and offer them free test of the product or free product or whatever it's going to be. Rather than money, they're just glad that you would actually want to send them something in exchange for social media posts. So like when we were talking there about selling meat boxes online, that's what we did. When we were doing selling luxury flowers, they went out to influencers as well. Right across the board with literally everything that I've sold through e-commerce other than radiators, we've always used influencers as a great way of getting the brand out there for a very, very low cost. Now, the key with influencers for e-commerce brands is not to go for the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers or the millions of followers, because first of all, they come with a really hefty price tag, often with agents now, and second of all, they also, a lot of the time, do not have a very, very engaged audience. It might look engaged from the likes standpoint, but check down in the comments and see, are they spam bots? Are they even getting comments? There's tons of people out there with, 18,000 likes on every single post and 3 comments. Now you can tell that 18,000 likes, as well as the amount of followers that they have, are absolutely BS, okay? I was just thinking there about, I don't want this to go into the explicit video part of YouTube, because then it would be tougher to rank, right? But anyway, okay, so so many people out there in the influencer space have a hefty price tag and it's semi-fraudulent, right? So the thing that you really want to look at here is the micro influencers or micro to medium influencers, the people who have tens of thousands instead of the hundreds of thousands or the millions, who are in your space, who have a very engaged audience, who hang on their every word. Those are the ones that you want to go to, because first of all, they will actually often have the biggest impact on your sales, and they're also simultaneously the people who have the lowest costs of entry, if you will, to get them on board as an influencer within your brand. You can be sending them new product every 2 months or 3 months or whatever in exchange for a certain amount of social media activity. Putting it out on their Instagram stories, putting it out on their Instagram, putting it out on their Facebook. If they've got a great YouTube channel, it could be that they do a review on their YouTube channel or something like that to get this out in front of more people. Not only does that massively raise awareness at such a low cost, if any cost at all, but second of all, people hang on their every word. So people, just because that person is putting this out there and talking about it and even just tagging you in their stories, people will click through with a higher potential of making an immediate purchase decision because they trust that person. So using influencers is an amazing way of doing this. Number 3, user-generated content. This is amazing, and if you don't have much of it right now, I'm going to tell you a way of encouraging it. So with e-commerce businesses, one of the best ways that we can put out content and always have it being super engaging and also selling even in the most subtle of ways is using the content that people, your buyers, are putting out there on Instagram, on their stories, whatever it may be, under hashtags, tagging your page. Might be on Facebook, it might be anywhere else. They might just be sending you it, for example. But you want to take that stuff and you want to take the best images that people send and you want to put it out there as user-generated content to encourage people on your social media to come and actually make purchases, okay? So let's look at a couple of examples of how you would use this, and then I'll show you a way that you can encourage people to do more of it. Okay, so how would you use this? You could put this out actually as your actual feed. Again, e-commerce businesses that I've worked with in the past, sometimes we don't do any posts outside of user-generated content. Everything we share will be a customer and we will be highlighting what they've said in the post. So they might have put a post out there and said, absolutely buzzing for my favorite delivery of the week because they buy every week. Something like that. We'll put it in quote marks and then we'll put a tag with their name so that anybody could click through to their page if they really wanted to verify that this is a real person that's actually purchased from us as well. And by the way, that's another good thing with influencers. Great content tends to come from influencers and you can repurpose it, and then it's a great thing for your followers to see that that person is posting about your product and service. Second thing is Instagram stories. If they're putting stuff out on Instagram stories, always be sharing it into your own profile. It's great content anyway, it's a great way to engage, but showing that other people are purchasing your e-commerce products is one of the easiest ways to get your current warm followers to actually click the link in your bio and actually go and make purchases. So sharing that in there as well. Okay, so I said that I was also going to tell you how you could get more user-generated content if you're struggling to get it right now. E-commerce business that I worked with 6 or 7 years ago. Worked with them for about 2.5 years. Absolutely love working with them. They're great guys. What we did was, there wasn't any user-generated content coming in. I'm not even sure if they had social media pages or if we started them from scratch. But anyway, we knew that user-generated content was going to be a huge part of this as well. It's the influencer strategy. And so what we did was, we were physically delivering stuff to people's doors, as most e-commerce businesses are. And what we did was we created a large flyer that would engulf the top of the box so it was unmissable. And we were telling them that if they take a photo of their box and their products and whatever they receive and put it up on Instagram with whilst tagging us and using a certain hashtag, then they would be automatically entered into the monthly raffle to win a £100 voucher or £150 voucher or something like that. So something that was still quite juicy and worth going and doing it, okay? And by doing that, we ended up with I wouldn't even say majority, it's not like more than 50% of every purchases did this, but it went from like 0 to having what was a very small e-commerce business at the time to getting like 30 or 40 posts from people per week. Now, 2 big reasons why this was amazing, other than the fact that this was a very small business at the time and we were able to get a ton of people posting every single week. The two big reasons why this was absolutely incredible. First of all is that we got all that user-generated content, which meant that we had an endless stream of stuff for us to post ourselves that was engaging and selling at the same time. The second thing is these people are normal everyday people, not influencers that have distrust around them, okay? They're everyday people posting about how buzzing they are to get an order from you. Now, what happens with that type of person when people know they're not an influencer? The 300 people that follow them, the 100 people that see the post, become very interested in why that person is so buzzing to get that order. So their friends and family and followers are likely to click through to your website and actually make a purchase there as well. Okay, number 4 is Instagram polls. Now, I've talked about this from the coaching point of view. You've probably heard me talk about it before. Instagram poll method is absolutely incredible. Let's talk about it from a coaching point of view and I'll tell you about how I used it in e-commerce, okay? So from a coaching point of view, you would put out a poll on Instagram stories saying, what do you struggle more with, losing weight or building muscle? then you put one button is losing weight, one is building muscle, and whatever people click on, you message them and say thanks so much for engaging with the poll. It really helps us understand what type of content to be putting out there for you. But you did say that you were struggling to lose weight, or you did say that you were struggling to build muscle, and it starts a conversation that can bring somebody to a purchase. Now, Instagram poll method for e-commerce is, funnily enough, and I've said this a whole bunch of times when talking about it in the coaching format, I learned this through e-commerce. So it worked for e-commerce, and then I realized that it works incredibly well for coaching as well. But for e-commerce, what we were doing was we were saying things like, when selling the meat boxes, do you rather sirloin steak or rump steak? Okay, then we would go onto the site and we would create a discount code for rump and a discount code for sirloin steak. And then whatever people clicked on, we said thanks so much for engaging with our poll. It really helps us understand our customers and therefore what they want to see more of on our website. As a quick thank you, here's 15% off of any rump steaks that you want for the next 24 hours, or sirloin steaks or whatever. And that was an amazing tool from what was a relatively small following at the time, and we were able to generate sales off the back of it. So I learned there how powerful this could be, and we started doing that on the week to week. So we'd have polls out there that were really engaging, and we would send them discount codes as thank yous for engaging with the poll. Great way to get people who might hang on your every word but don't want to be public, so they don't want to like and comment on things, but they will engage with a poll because most people think Instagram polls are anonymous, but they're not. So it's a great way of creating a conversation and getting a discount code that is specific to somebody on your social media platforms, and a great way to get them to your site. Okay, number 5, 6, and 7 are all now increasing the conversions on the website. Those were some ways of getting people to the website for free and in the mindset of wanting to make immediate purchases. But here's some great ways that we can make even more. Okay, so number 5, opening offer pop-up. Opening offer pop-up is actually when, instead of they're about to leave the site, we actually give them a pop-up right away and offer them a 24-hour discount code. This has been a massive one for e-commerce businesses that I've worked with, I've coached, etc. Can have a huge effect on the amount of people who, even if they thought they were coming to the website to make a purchase, this actually makes them make that purchase. Second of all, if they thought they weren't coming to the website, it's a great enough offer that they might actually go ahead and make a purchase when they thought they were just coming here to browse. And thirdly, and this is the great thing here, if they put their name and email address in to get that 24-hour discount code and they don't make a purchase, well, that person on your email list now that you can send stuff pretty much free to every single day of the week if you really want to, is somebody who actually thought, I might make a purchase today on this website, which is one of the best types of people you could possibly have on your email list. And it wasn't just built through, a competition or something like that. That's literally somebody who gave up their personal data to get a discount code because they thought, I might make a purchase on this website today. So even if they don't, that person might still purchase in the days and weeks to come. So this is a great way to increase immediate sales, but also increase your email list full of people who are likely to purchase in the future. Number 6 is quite simply to offer multiples or bundles. So on your e-commerce website, if you're going to talk about certain offers, then give them the opportunity to add even more to the offer. It could be that they can add additional products of the same kind to get it at a lower price. It could be that, hey, package it up with this complimentary product and you can get it at this amazing price. Having these certain types of incentives on the page is one of the easiest ways to grow an e-commerce business, because the person is just looking for value at that point. They already know they want to buy this, but hey, you can get 2 of them and you'll save 12%. It's a great way of massively increasing the average order value. And hey, sometimes the person might even be looking at buying 1 and think that's a little bit too expensive, but when they see the price of buying 2, it might even make more sense to them and increase the amount of sales and not just the average order value. And number 7 is cart increase incentives. So these are absolutely amazing. Most e-commerce website builders that you use will have this feature in some way, some sort of plugin that you can add on. Shopify definitely do, WooCommerce definitely do, but look into yours as well here. But cart increase incentives. This is something that with all e-commerce websites that I worked with personally, it was either something that I actually implemented myself or suggested to them that they needed to have in place, and it always had an amazing outcome on the average order value of the business, which, as we were saying earlier, is one of the most important parts of an e-commerce business, is simply increasing the average order value. Because if you increase average order value by 10%, then you could never increase the amount of customers that you typically have coming into the business, and your revenue goes up 10%. So you haven't had to create any new customers. It's just purely the business goes up in revenue 10% because your average order value is up 10%. Okay, and the way that this works is quite simply, when somebody comes to cart, it tells them how far they are away from unlocking something. So it could be you're £12 away from unlocking this free product, or it could be you're £6.81 away from unlocking free delivery. All these different incentives to encourage people to hit higher thresholds and go back in and actually make purchases. Now, Shopify actually make it really good because they also allow you to show them products that they can add on that page instead of having to go back and do any additional shopping. So you can actually have the incentive there, and you can help them get over that price point by adding certain things to their cart right at that point of checkout. So it's a great tool to increase the amount of people who are spending an excessive amount on your website. If they were, had a cart of £62 and you can get them to £80, if you can think about the amount of purchases you'll have over the year, and that can happen quite frequently, the amount of additional revenue you can bring into your business is absolutely frightening. But that's all 7. Thank you so much for being here. Take these down, use them, please use them. They're absolutely incredible. They're all tried and tested. And if you want more videos like this, then don't forget to hit the like button. That one is massive for me. Please hit the like button. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss any of these ever again. And if you want to actually take all of this stuff to the absolute next level, I give up 15 minutes of my time every single week, 15 minutes of my time for a few people. You can book that call with me down below, my lead generation audit and strategy session. We'll actually look at your social media, your email marketing, and your paid advertising strategy and streamline it into a way in which we can see where your biggest opportunities for growth are. They're completely free, but they're just in high demand, and quite often you might have to wait a few days until you can get one. But you can click the link below for my free lead generation audit and strategy session, and I will see you on that call.